Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for educational purpose only. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the 4 victims rest in peace, condolence to the families, and may the correct justice be served. Today, looking back at the case like I usually do, from the 13th of November 2022, when it first happened, with the previous timelines and the timelines after they were changed, I came across something that just put the puzzle, oh my God, put the puzzle completely in place. Although it's allegations, this is for education purpose only, I'm not accusing anyone of these crimes. But when I show y'all this, y'all will look at it definitely from a different perspective. So let's begin. This is about the 4chan, and there's a reason I need to go back to the 4chan. Okay, let's go back to the 4chan. Anonymous told us on the 4chan that it's the Sigma boys that did it. The Sigma Chi boys, or Chi, or Chi, whatever they call. We were told that it was the fraternities that did it, and that's always a theory, one of my main theories. Because we know there was a party that night. We know that the Davids, David B and David L, were beefing Xana and Ethan, allegedly. We know that David B was his shooter, and he wasn't doing a good job with it, according to 4chan. So let me start reading 4chan to you, and it's going to make sense what I managed to put in together. It blew my mind at least, so let's hope that there's some sense in what I'm saying. It starts by the night of the unalivings. E and Lot got into a fight with S, X, and E. So they got a fight with Xana and Ethan. That's David Lodge and David B. David Lodge, sorry guys, I'm still recovering from the flu. David Lodge had shiver balls. Xana was talking shit too. That's what they said. David Lodge has a long-standing beef with E and Xana. Maddie too. David Beracho and David Lodge are butt buddies, allegedly. That was the talk that was going on that night. The reason I'm repeating all this is to explain what I found, and then it's up to you what you'll make out of it, but it'll make complete sense. So the Davids were beefing E and Xana. So let's stick to the facts. I've always said Xana and E were harmed, unalived by Sigma Chi fraternity boys. They had a party that night. Now pay attention. They said that they're going to do this within 90 minutes. They planned this, so it's a pre-planned crime. Now just focus on E and Xana. It's going to be easier for you, because I found out something about Maddie and Kaylee too. So I'm going to make a part 1 and part 2. This is the part 1. It's about Xana and E. Those were the two that the police never seemed to get their timelines right for some reason. They demolished the house. It'll explain everything when I put it together. It'll make a lot of sense. Pay attention to DM heard rummaging upstairs. Now we have Ann Taylor saying that not only were there 3 unidentified male DNAs, she clearly said there was blood on the railings. Which railing? I'm sure the step railings. That's where they have the railings. Okay. Keep all that in mind. Then pay attention to the fact that B.F. Bethany Funk was at the Sigma Chi fraternity party. Pay attention to the Banfield boys. One of them was wearing a glove that I kept on showing y'all. I don't know, some people agree, some disagree, but it was odd that he was wearing one black glove. Now let's go back to the 4chan. This long-standing beef blew out that night. Whether it was pre-planned or not, that night, the Davids decided we're not having it because they were called butt buddies. Let's not forget, it's all alleged by anonymous, but I'll tell you why it makes sense to me. They said they wouldn't take any phones with them. They said they won't use any GUNS. They said too much noise draws attention. They don't need that. They said they wouldn't take anything like phone devices with them so that obviously it doesn't catch the Wi-Fi of 1122 Kings Road or the neighboring houses. Now this is interesting. They said they would do it within 90 minutes. This is the part you'll need to pay attention to. 90 minutes. What happens at 2:52? Let's start from there. That was the last phone call Kaylee and Maddie, one of them, made to Jack D. Do we agree? Then let's go to 5:54. From the police body cam, you hear a female yelling, "Stop it, stop." That's at 2:54. Okay. We see the figures running at 3:14. Now go back from 3:14, 19 minutes, and what do you come up with? Let's do some maths actually here. It's around 2:54. The unaliving started. When we heard the female yelling, "Stop it, stop," that is when they got Maddie and Kaylee. Just either Maddie or Kaylee, one of them yelling, "Stop it, stop." In my opinion, that's the 19 minutes. The 4 figures or 8 figures, like Tommy said, makes total sense. Tommy, Jude, and myself are exactly on the same track. I won't disqualify the Jacks because we still don't know for sure who those figures are. But to confirm and prove, not my theory, 4chan's theory is on point, is because I always said 4chan told us the motives. 4chan told us the targets. That was Maddie, Xana, Ethan. They said that Kaylee wasn't supposed to be there. I'm not going to use the language they use, like many creators do, because it's about respect. These are youngins, these are young victims we don't need to read out all the insults that they put out there for the 4 victims. May they rest in peace, and their families. So we know exactly how it was planned. Anonymous told us, sorry guys, Anonymous told us clearly that it was the frats, the Sigma Chi, that were involved. 90 minutes from 3:14 when the figures are running right backwards will make it 2:54. 2:54 is when we hear the girls yelling, "Stop it! Stop!" And that was from the police's body cam. Chris McDonough found that. He played that on his channel. I remember making a clip about it 2 years ago. But that would completely make sense. Hoodie guy, Jack Showalter, is definitely involved, in my opinion. Because he's carrying. He threatened Kaylee and Maddie by saying, "Sorry guys, it's just my oven." So basically he threatened the girls by saying, "You know we're going to get you for that. You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie." And he had 2 targets. He had Kaylee. So Hoodie guy, his target was Kaylee. And maybe Maddie. But the 4chan article tells us exactly what Anonymous tells us makes sense with the exact timeline. The reason now I believe personally that they changed it from 3 to 4, which was not even the right timeline. The right timeline would have been from 2:20, when the crowd is yelling, "Xana, Xana, Xana," which I first discovered and put it out there for y'all to see. Then I showed y'all what Jovito was watching, and it went viral, thank God. People are discussing it. People are noticing more things. And the first one that I showed y'all was what Saeed was watching at the Banfield. The reason I'm mentioning that is because I think this is important for me, because all those things that I put out, when I bring all my discovery together, what like I personally discovered on my channel, that's not boasting, but that is putting things together, because I don't want to put somebody else's opinions into what I'm trying to point out, or what I'm trying to explain is my theory. So all these things that I mentioned, Kaylee in the sitting position, when I told you all about that, Saeed was the first one I saw it from. I kept on paying attention to what is this guy watching on his phone device right in front of the police, not even worried, saying what's up to the police. It was all pre-planned. Now this is interesting, which will come in part 2. It's a couple. This is the couple, sorry. So the figures, 4chan actually aims at all 3 targets. And they said even that Kaylee was collateral damage. But according to me, Kaylee was somebody else's target. She was Hoodie Guy's target. Hoodie Guy wasn't happy with things that were going on that night, and I showed you, pay attention, he has a cut on his face. Fresh from that night. Where was he? At the corner club. Who was he upset at? Maddie. So that part makes sense to me. It was the figures running that did this. Look at the people carrying at the grub truck. Look at the pictures Saeed is watching. Look at the pictures Saeed is watching. Jovito's watching. Half of the grub truck are watching, yelling out Xana's name. And put it with the 4chans. Guys, it'll make sense to you. This is my 19-minute theory. The figures did it, because they go in line with the 19-minute theory. Then there's another thing. I showed you all Loach and the other 3 guys, the 2 guys, the one with the long, sharp edge, he's carrying it on his belt. Him, Loach, and the other guy are from the Sigma Chi. So those 3 turned away as soon as Maddie and Kaylee walked in the grub truck. Don't you find that fishy? Isn't that suspicious enough? We have young men at the grub truck carrying. We have people at the 4chan, not 4chan, sorry, people at the Banfield ignoring the cops, not even stopping when the cops are talking to them. What would you say about that? The 90 minutes from when the figures are running, go backwards, and you will see that it makes sense with what Anonymous is saying. So I believe Maddie and Kaylee were always unalived, I believe, at 2:54. Remember that. Just like I first told you all that E and Zano were unalived before the other two. I always say it's two separate targets. Let me know what you'll think about it. Thanks for your time. Have a lovely evening. And I will be soon uploading part 2 to this, and that I will connect Zano and E, because the figures went and harmed Maddie and Katie. This is starting to make more sense.